Hi everyone, my name is Lindsay and I wanted to welcome you to my channel. It's called Catholic Home Life. And on this channel, I talk about things all dealing with the Catholic Church, but also how it relates to our home and how we can live out our Catholic faith in our home. I have been married for 10 years and we have 4 children and another on the way. I'm pregnant with our 5th child due in March. And I also homeschool all my kids. So that's a little bit about me, and I hope you'll stick around and subscribe. This video is a collaboration with a bunch of other Catholic moms, and it is our top 5 Catholic children's stories. And we're all gonna be sharing our favorite children's stories, so I'm really excited to go and see everyone else's videos and get some ideas for our own home library. This whole collaboration is started by Michelle from A Common Life, and I will have her channel linked in the description box below. There's also going to be in the description box a playlist that will have all the videos of all the contributors to this collaboration. Please go and check out everyone else's videos and make sure to subscribe to their channels because these are all Catholic channels. I think it's so awesome that there's this group forming of Catholic moms and Catholic women who are creating content that is just so uplifting, and it helps everyone to get different ideas of how to live out their Catholic faith. So now on to my top 5 children's books. I went through all the books that we own and I chose my top 5 from those books. So I'm not including books that I don't own. I'm sure there's a lot of other amazing Catholic books out there, but I really wanted to show you the books, and we do have quite a few Catholic books in our house. So I just wanted to share with you the top 5 that I own in my home library. So the first one I wanted to share with you is this book by Matthew Kelly. And he is the creator of the group called Dynamic Catholic, and they create tons and tons of resources and lots of books for adults mostly, but also they're branching out into children's books too. So this was given to us by a friend, and it's just the question, why am I here? And it's really a cute story, and it's this boy who's just wondering, like, what is life all about? And here's a spoiler alert. The whole premise of the book is that we are here to be the best versions of ourselves. And it's kind of repetitive. They repeat that over and over in this book, but it really is true. That is why we're here on this earth, to be the best versions of ourselves and to figure out what God's will is for our lives. So this is a really great story for younger kids because it brings this really serious subject down to their level that I totally think they could understand. So I really recommend this book. My second pick, it's kind of a 2-for-1 because it's a 2-parter here, but actually this is first. So Catholic Tales for Boys and Girls, and then more Catholic Tales for Boys and Girls. And I love these stories. This is just like a compilation of different short stories. Each chapter is its own story. It's like fully contained. So I really use these in our homeschool because they're these fictional stories, but they each have a really beautiful Catholic moral teaching to them. And I got these one year to put in my boys' Easter baskets. And we just really enjoyed reading these. I would especially read these to the kids when we would have a meal together. So either breakfast or lunch, I'd pull out one of these and just read one of the stories. And they're precious. And some of them I cried. They were really special. And I just recommend these books. They're by Caryll, Houselander. And I will have the links to all of the books that I'm talking about down in the description box below too, in case you're interested in checking them out. This one's a little bit harder to find, I think, because I don't think it's in print anymore, but it's called Father Damien and the Bells. And this book is actually about my son Damien. He's 1, and this is about his patron, and his patron is Saint Damien of Molokai. And I think when this book was written, he wasn't canonized as a saint yet. I don't even know if he was a blessed, but he's very famous in Hawaii especially, and his story was very famous. So this is an older book that was written all about his life. And we read this book on his feast day this last year. His godparents gave us this book. Damien's godparents gave it to us for his baptism, which is a great baptism gift. If you're ever a godparent, you could try to see who your godchild's patron is and then see if a book was written about that saint, because there are lots of children's books about saints. I know we have some books on St. John Vianney and St. Gianna Molla, and then our other son was named after St. Peter Julian Emerd, and we haven't found a children's book about him, but all the other kids, we have found books about their patron that are for children. So that's really, really neat to have, and it's something great that you can read on the feast day of their patron. So this book is very inspiring, and it's just telling the story of his life. So I really recommend this if you can find it and track it down. The fourth book that I wanted to share with you is called The Clown of God, and it's by Tomie dePaola. And he is an amazing author. He wrote Stregonona, which is a pretty common book and pretty mainstream. And that's something that I really love about him as an author, is that he's very popular just in regular culture. And so some of the other books that I mentioned, they're more geared toward the Catholic culture, but his books are accepted in schools and everywhere. You'll find his books everywhere. This book in particular I chose because I just love the message of The Clown of God, because basically throughout the story it's about this clown, and he loves to make people smile and he loves to entertain people. And he comes across these brothers, like Franciscan brothers, and they were telling him that his gifts and his talents are from God, and that he can give glory to God by being a juggler. And I love that message, that it doesn't really matter what we do in life, we can give glory to God through so many different ways. And I really love that message. And this is also kind of a good Advent book, because it leads up to the birthday of Jesus, to Christmas. And he eventually juggles for Jesus. So that's kind of at the end. So that is another one. When I was looking through all our books, I kind of wanted to get a mix of different ages to share with you. I found this other book that I wanted to share with you, and this is for the older crowd, probably the preteens and maybe even teenagers would really enjoy this book. It is called Will Wilder. And this is the first book in a series, and I think all of the books are probably really good. This book is written by Raymond Arroyo, and maybe you're familiar with him. He works for EWTN, which is the Catholic media network, basically. They have a channel on TV that you can watch, EWTN. I don't know what it stands for. Eternal Word Television Network, maybe, I don't know. I think it's something like that. So EWTN, he has a show that's a news show, and it's called The World Over Live, and he is basically the host, the news anchor of that show. That's basically what he's known for, but he's also an author. He's written other books, and then he just recently started getting into writing children's books. And I personally have not read this book, but my husband and my oldest son, they read it together as a read aloud. And I talked to my husband, and he recommends this book, and he gave me a few things to share about it. I would say the genre for this is more like fantasy and adventure and mystery. If your children love books like that, then this would be a really great book for them. My husband said that there's some mysticism about it, and he also wanted to just warn that there's kind of some demonic themes to it, and just the battling of good and evil. And he also said that it gives you this sense that evil can be alluring and also deceiving. So it brings up hefty things. So it's definitely for your older kids that are ready to take a deeper look at good versus evil. And he also said that it's just written really well and there's strong character development that he appreciated too. He read it to our son John when he was probably 8 years old, and I think he was ready for it, and it was a good read aloud because if there were any questions about anything, then my husband could talk to John about it. I think that's one of the great things about read alouds in general, is that you're reading something along with your children, and then if there's any heavy subjects, you are right there to kind of process it with them. So anyway, this is a great read aloud, or if you have older kids, like teenagers, I'm sure they could totally manage this on their own. But like I said, this is just the first book in a series. I think he's continuing to write even more. So that's just kind of a fun Catholic chapter book. Those are my top 5 Catholic books, and I'm so hesitant to commit to those being my top 5 because there's so many great Catholic books out there, so don't judge me if you disagree. And actually, I'd love to know what your top 5 are, so if you could leave a comment down below and let me know either your top 5 or just your top few, 1 or 2 books. I would love any great Catholic book recommendations, so please leave those in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed to my channel already, I would love it if you could subscribe. I post videos every Monday, at least that's my goal, and sometimes I might do a bonus video here and there, like today. Today is a bonus video because I already posted a video on Monday. And also make sure you go and check out the playlist that I will have linked in the description box, and go support all the other channels who are participating in this collaboration. I hope you're doing well, and I'll talk to you in my next video. God bless you. Bye.